have a confession to make. The day that Charlie Kirk got shot, I couldn't sleep. Days after, I was trying to figure out why. And I realized it's because when I watch his debates, I see how he handles confrontation in such a non-violent, graceful way. And because of that, I see myself in him. And so when I'm seeing people defame him after his death and celebrating his death, I see myself being mocked in that way. So that makes sense that I was tossing and turning at night. Because what if that happens to me? I have actually made a commitment in my life to confront with truth in a very respectful and graceful way. Since I've already made that commitment, what if that happens to me someday? I have been putting myself out there lately and shared a lot of vulnerable things, so it makes sense that it's gonna shake me up. When I watched his debates, the main thing that stood out to me is the way he holds humility. And what that means is it's not about him being this saint. He actually admitted in his debates that he is no saint. There had been many times where he wants to rage out and he wants to curse people out, but he acknowledges that it's God that has softened his heart so he can listen opposing sides and have a conversation. It really stood out to me the way he would tell the truth calmly without rage, even if it's unpopular. I can't stop thinking about this because every time I've avoided confrontation, every time I've swept things under the rug, it never failed to break me. I'm the attraction mentor, and I have found that when I keep sweeping things under the rug, it turned me into a very repelling person. The longer I avoid the truth, the longer things don't go well. The longer I stay in this chaos bubble, I'd like to call it. But here's other things that I've noticed lately, which I find very disturbing. As we look at the bigger scope of things, it's the left that is celebrating Charlie's death. What also doesn't sit right with me is that as the left are losing their jobs, the right are celebrating that too. That doesn't sit with me. While yes, people definitely need to be held accountable for celebrating death like that, for sure, but I don't think it needs to be celebrated that they were losing their jobs. That's very dark. I want to tie this back into attraction real quick. The moment we celebrate somebody's demise, our aura, the thing that attracts people, it diminishes. I want you guys to think of the nice guy that keeps getting rejected. Do you notice when he gets resentful and throws passive-aggressive jabs? He becomes repellent, right? Same scenario here. Yes, people are experiencing consequences, but if you're celebrating them, celebrating others' suffering, that's not a good look either. Instead of moving with dignity, you're moving scornfully. And that's a problem because gleeful celebration might make you feel powerful in that moment, but it shrinks your influence, your aura, all for a short-term, quick hit of ego. That's essentially what it is. Now, whenever you guys have time, I want you guys to check out Chase Hughes. He's the behavioral expert. In his YouTube, he broke it down to how the covert elites, we all know who the elites are, but this is the hidden layer of elites who profit from division. Rage becomes their currency, division is their marketing strategy, and the more both sides scream at each other, the easier it is for the government to control us. It's a tactic. I also want you guys to check out Amir Odam's video. He's a black man that debated Charlie and personally knows Charlie, but he did a whole video debunking and testified that Charlie is in fact not a racist. Even though they've had disagreements with each other, he shared how Charlie always had the utmost respect for him, and he encouraged Amir to put your voice out there more. Amir even said that he created his own YouTube channel, which was actually nudged by Charlie. As you can see, that's very endearing because a hateful person would totally do that, right? I've also looked into Zach Rhodes' Facebook post, which was such a sigh of relief to read and beautiful because he shared how within just 24 hours, there were 5 people that came up to him and shared that they watched the full context of Charlie Kirk's debate videos and have found that there are so many short clips out there that are taken out of context. They realized they were wrong. And that takes a huge level of maturity. that can change somebody's aura from scornful and repellent back to increasing the aura and gaining influence. Because someone who is willing to face the truth, even if it hurts, and is willing to show humility to get to that place, can't help but trust and respect that person. These are leadership qualities. For those of you that don't know who Zach Rode is, he's a relationship coach and a polarity coach. He has a decent following on Facebook, and I was very intrigued with how he showed serious empathy on both the right side and the left side. And I agree with him in how we need to do better by having love for one another rather than stooping down to a level where there's more hate. And I'm sure you guys notice this too. It disheartens me to see that the Black community are suffering right now. There's so many fingers being pointed at each other with the assumption of Charlie Kirk being racist. But here's the thing. I have talked to and listened to wealthy Black women, and their perspective has blown my mind, because it's the very opposite of what I typically hear from people that are obsessed with which one is the most oppressed story. These women that I'm talking about are polished, well-dressed, they're living the life. And they shared with me that they too had humble beginnings. They had cards stacked against them, totally not in their favor. But because they don't buy into those oppression, they don't buy into the oppression mindset, they made a decision to do something different, to live a different life. They attracted husbands that took very good care of them, husbands that built thriving families, businesses, cherished their wives, and they've passed down their assets and put their properties under their wives' names so that even if they passed away, their family is completely secured upon generations. This is literally what Charlie Kirk stands for. The importance of fathers staying instead of abandoning the children. He's pro-men taking responsibility. And he's not here to shame the Black men. Charlie Kirk takes a strong stance for families to be uplifted. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's not racism. That's reverence for life and stability. I mean, it says in the Bible, men are meant to put the house in order. That's all he's talking about. What is this hate? And here's why I want to share this. This goes hand in hand with my attraction teachings. Think about how Charlie argued that the Second Amendment, he acknowledges that it harms people, but it protects more than it harms. To me, this is the same concept of attraction. With attraction, you have to be willing to stand out. You have to be willing to not hide. Does it take risks to show up? Yes, but hiding does more harm than good. And the reason I say that is because I've hidden something for a lot of my life, and I found all it did was imprison me. It turned me into a passive-aggressive person who had built up rage and was obsessed with being right. And if I didn't change that, I could very well turn into a violent person. And that rooted from a trauma that happened to me years ago where I was molested by a pastor. I spoke up for myself once, but I wasn't protected. That put me in a cycle. That told me that my voice didn't matter. But I made the effort to heal that. I didn't want that to be my story. I didn't want that to define me. And because I made different decisions, my life has changed. There's actually more positivity and transformation in multiple lives when we do use our voice and when we do show up versus hiding and allowing things to be chaotic and allowing things to just fall apart. Choosing to confront in a gentle way, like Charlie Kirk, is a lot more effective than sweeping things under the rug. You can tell me in the comments if you don't agree with that, but I would rather receive truth and feedback so that I can always grow and do better. I'm in the business of progressing in life, and that's essentially what I saw mirrored with Charlie Kirk. Having the courage to confront non-violently without collapsing into bitterness. So I don't necessarily idolize the guy. However, I honor the mirror he held up to me. The cost and courage of standing in truth without rage and refusing to match lower energy for the sake of revenge. Because attraction, real influence, it's not about charisma and beauty. It's not about being charming. It's about how you hold truth. It's about how you handle rejection. It's about whether you meet confrontation with dignity or collapse into mockery. And that's my challenge to you. How do you handle confrontation? Do you sweep it under the rug, or do you fight with bitterness? Or do you face it grounded, even if it costs you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear how you navigate this too.